Hi, Internet family. Here is chapter 2 of Winged Pharaoh by Joan Grant. We're featuring it this month in the Monthly Magic Book Club, and you can get it online. It was first published in 1937. I love this book. I'm going to read you a chapter, and then I'm going to go inside because these mosquitoes are feral and ruthless today. So here we go. Chapter 2, Anubis. When I was very little, and walking was still a new adventure, Mata took Nea and me with her to the temple. Nea held my hand going up the steps. Everything was very big, and it was cold after the hot sunshine in the courtyard. In one of the rooms, there was an enormous wooden animal like a hunting dog painted black. I wanted to touch it, but Nea said I mustn't because it was the statue of a god, and it was called Anubis. And suddenly I felt much older than 2, and as wise as Mata, my nurse, and I thought I knew all about Anubis, but I couldn't find words to explain it to Nea. When we got home, I told Mother about it, and she gave me a little statue of Anubis, just the same, only child size, with a little painted wooden house for it to live in, and I kept it beside my bed so that I could see it first thing in the morning when I woke up. Mother said that Anubis was the bringer of dreams to children. Sometimes I dreamed of being grown up and doing lots of very important things. I couldn't quite remember them, but in the morning it seemed very unfamiliar to be only 2. Nea didn't have to go to bed until long after me because he was 5. Quite often, before I went to sleep, he used to come and tell me stories. I had a very specially favorite story about a lion and a wild cat and a hare. The hare lived with his mother in the reeds. He could run much faster than all of his brothers and sisters, and although his mother warned him not to go too far from home, he didn't listen, for he thought he could run away from any danger, however sudden. He used to creep out at night and look up to the moon, where he could see the father of all the hares, and he used to tell him about all the clever things he had done. One day, while he was busy thinking about himself, a huge wild cat sprang upon him, and she picked him up in her mouth and took him home to her cubs for their breakfast. But the cubs had had plenty of breakfast. So the wild cat put him down at the entrance to her cave and told him that if he moved, she would kill him at once. The poor hare was so frightened that he kept quite still. Then he looked up at the god of the hares and he said, "Please, please look down out of the moon and help me. I made such a mistake about being clever. I'll always listen to people who know more than I do. If only you'll save me from this wild cat." The wild cat listened to what he was saying, and she licked her whiskers and laughed to think that any hare, even if he lived in the moon, could attack a wild cat. Suddenly, in the shadows, outside the cave, there was a great roaring, and an enormous lion sprang upon the wildcat and ate her right up. The little hare saw that his prayers had been answered, and he wasn't at all frightened of the lion because he knew that the answer to a prayer is always good, whatever shape it comes in. So he went up to the lion and thanked him. The lion lay down so the hare could climb on his back, and he nestled in the lion's mane while he rode back home to his mother. When the little hare grew up, he told this story over and over again, and he always finished up by saying, "Look to the moon, and you will see the wisest of us all." That was chapter 2. I love this book, highly recommended.